So you do have some roots here in East Texas too. You may not know, but I'm actually in Mineola, which is a little bit north of Tyler. And
Yeah,
yeah, so
that's where you are.
yeah, and
Oh, that's
so
cool.
when I first moved to Texas, we moved to Longview too, so like not too far
Yep.
from your neck of the woods down there in Nac. And man,
Yeah,
I did not know when I became a fan of yours that you had roots in Nacogdoches. That took me off
I
guard.
did. Yeah,
But I wanted to mention every time we have somebody with roots in Knack, dude, Knack is so full of talent, dude. Like, there's
it
just it's
is.
so underrated for talent in the music business. So did you grow up in Knack, or was that Houston, or what? How did it work out for you as a youngster?
Yeah. So I grew up in Houston, Texas, Sunnyside, Houston, Texas. And then when I got out of there basically as fast as I could. So like I wanted a slower pace.
Yeah.
Like I'm from the city, and I got accepted to film school, CNF Austin. So that's
Okay,
where
that makes
and
sense. Yeah.
yeah, and I started doing film there, and like those guys were just awesome and amazing and weird and super cool
Yeah.
and hilarious and raunchy, and I just kind of got my feet wet there. So I did my undergrad there, I did my graduate there, graduate studies there. So I spent about like a good 10 years
Wow.
um, and NAC, yeah. And then what got me out of that was not got me out, but like what moved me to Austin was a film, and there was a photographer guy that was looking for some work, and I gave him the work, and I was like, okay, I guess we got a job. So like, well, I moved to Austin, and like started shooting video, and then quickly had to pivot and get a retail thing. But I got back into that's kind of like how the music thing started actually. So I started doing retail when I got to Austin about maybe 5 months after I got here,
Hmm.
and then yeah, I was working at AT&T, and at the same time, I started doing I went to an open mic, and then started playing in a band, and then just right away it was kind of like music's kind of a cool thing again. And it wasn't a cool thing for a while. Like I just I got completely, I was touring with a country artist at the time, and I got really disappointed in the fact that kind of went went to shit, and then just kind of wanted to not do any music at all,
Hmm.
really. And when I got here, I don't know what it is about Austin, but it just kind of like completely revitalized uh, my passion for music.
So
And
that
so
disenfranchisement of music, did that happen prior to Austin?
it did, yeah, it did. I was touring a little bit, and then I also was I had this other band that I was in. This drummer kind of got some music. This drummer Will Willoughby.
I know
Um,
Will. Hell yeah, I know
yeah,
Will
yeah,
Willoughby.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we were doing a thing for a while at this place that he had, this little practice session jam room thing that he had, and we basically just rehearsed a lot, and we rehearsed this the same like 10 songs up and down for months, and then we just never did anything with it. And then I went on a cruise with my wife at the time, and her family, and I basically like, I think that was kind of like the beginning of the end of that group.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't know, after that, because we never really did anything with it, I just kind of just was like, okay, I'm done. It was that, I think that was like kind of like the nail in the coffin for me, where I was just like, this is, after the touring thing had happened and that wasn't working out, and then after all of that stuff, it was like, okay, I just need to put my focus into film. I need to graduate, need to get out of here, need to get to Austin, got a job waiting on me,
Yeah.
let's go, let's do this. So
So when you're in school for film, is it kind of both of the things are happening at one time? You're kind of studying film, and that's kind
yeah,
of going to be your career thing. That's what you're focusing on to make money. But
right.
music is kind of your little hobby you're doing on the side. Is that how it's working out for you?
Yeah, well, ironically, I knew that being a musician was probably the most irresponsible thing that I could ever possibly do with my life.
Right.
And it's just like, why would I want to do that? And so I was like, well, I could make film, and I could do that. And if that didn't work out, well, I could fall back to teaching, which was So I had like, a plan, like
Yeah.
a game plan of like, if this stream fails, then this thing, if this thing fails,
Just
then this
not
thing.
willy nilly about it at all.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what ended up happening is that I moved here, started shooting. There was a project that I was working on that got picked up. They didn't pick me up; they picked the project up, and so the pivot from that steady income to like not having that, very quickly I was just like, okay, now I got to get a job. So then I got a job working, just selling phones at AT&T. I did that for 3 years, and I enjoyed it because I got to learn a lot of business acumen minded stuff. But at the same time, the music was always the outlet. So like it was, like I always had the music to just kind of, de-stress me, whatever the case may be, any of that stuff,
So like
which is really
therapy,
cool.
like therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I transitioned out of the retail thing, started teaching film, and then realized very quickly at the same time that the music stuff was picking up, I started teaching. And so, but I was making more money from music than I was teaching.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is this working? Like,
This is not the part of the
yeah,
plan, man.
this is not part of this is
No.
not the plan. Like, what are we talking? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So basically, that that those two things continue to intersect until or were just leading to a head until COVID. And then I got laid off from my teaching gig, and then I became a full-time musician, and then basically became, and it just it's stuck like for at least the last, I mean, since 2020, basically it's kind of stuck, which is cool. It's good. It's
Yeah.
great.
So the
Yeah.
pandemic had a almost a positive effect on you and your career, and
Yeah.
um,
Oh, absolutely. Like the pandemic for me was just one of those times where I got to like just slow down and take a really serious inventory of everything in my life, and just kind of honestly just get rid of everything that just wasn't good or wasn't serving or was toxic or whatever. Like, just get rid of all of that stuff. So I mean, I basically started my life over again
yeah.
during COVID, and then made a record also. Um, and yeah, just started
Yeah, which is
working hard
like
playing music.
that's not the typical story, right? So
No,